Good morning, everyone. Hope you're off to a great start to your Monday. So waking up this morning, I slept in a little bit, was able to do so, and everywhere, all over everywhere, is the tweet by Shams Charania about Kyrie Irving stating that the Brooklyn Nets are apparently at an impasse with Kyrie Irving on his future in Brooklyn. Now, a couple weeks ago, it was reported that they were expected to bring him back on a long-term deal, and nothing else has been made of it since. But what I'm thinking is going on, this is just my opinion based off of stuff we've seen in the past in the NBA with players in similar situations, is the Nets probably do want to bring him back, most importantly to keep Kevin Durant happy, because as I stated in the last video I made about Kyrie Irving, and I've been very vocal about in regards to Kevin Durant possibly leaving Brooklyn, Kevin Durant reportedly views him and Kyrie Irving as a package deal. No Kyrie Irving, no Kevin Durant. At least that's how Kevin Durant is explaining it. So they probably want to bring Kyrie Irving back for the short term. I think it's probably more so like how it's being reported the 76ers want to bring James Harden back. Probably financial compensation is probably max annual value, but they probably want to do a shorter term deal, like 2-3 years. I'd say 2 though. And Kyrie wants a long-term max deal. And as I know, as you know, some of you might disagree, and that's fine. But I think when Kyrie Irving is playing at his absolute best, there's no question about it. He's a max player, box office talent. And obviously, the best ability is availability, and he's just not consistently available, whether it's for his fault or for circumstances out of his control, because injuries have been a factor, but primarily it's been because he's chosen not to make himself available. And Shams Charania is saying that if he does choose to look into the open market, the Lakers and the New York Knicks are expected to be the teams with the highest interest. Now, I believe both of those, but I don't think as of right now the Lakers are a realistic destination, because it makes all the sense in the world. It really does. You know how great he was when he played with LeBron James. That was probably best Kyrie Irving, no doubt about it. And I just don't think that's very realistic, because obviously they're handcuffed by the Russell Westbrook contract. I don't want to say I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's the worst contract in the NBA right now. In order to get rid of that contract, you are going to have to give up draft capital that you just don't have and can't afford right now. And maybe a younger player like THT, or I don't even know. That's a bad contract, and you're going to have to incentivize a team to take that on, even though it's only for one more year. That's a huge expiring contract coming off your books at the end of next year. But that's a bad contract. And as far as the New York Knicks, I made a video that just dropped a couple hours ago about the Knicks looking to get a starting caliber point guard, potentially looking to move up to number 4 with the Sacramento Kings to do so. But if a guy like Kyrie Irving becomes available, I think it would be smart on their part. Huge risk for a guy like Kyrie Irving, but I think it would be smart on their part to acquire him and just see what happens. You're the New York Knicks. Yeah, you're a big market, but you're a big market that has sucked for the vast majority of this century, of the 21st century. So take a big swing. Get your guy. and just see what happens. But as for what this could potentially do, because, I do believe stories get out to try to make leverage happen, try to make some people feel pressured. I think there's a chance that this could just be a story that maybe Kyrie and his camp want out to try to make the Nets feel pressured to give him what he wants. And there's a complete possibility that he ends up with Brooklyn again and gets the long-term max deal that he wants. And if he doesn't, if we find out that it's leaning towards him leaving Brooklyn, I think talks about Kevin Durant leaving, being traded, are going to heat up, because I don't know anything. It's just a guess, but based off of things we've heard, there's no Kyrie there. I don't think Kevin Durant wants to be there anymore. And I mean, based off of the lack of everything really on that roster outside of him, you're hopeful with Ben Simmons. You're hopeful with all the other small pieces, Joe Harris returning next year. But what do you have that's a certainty outside of Kevin Durant? You didn't even have it with Kyrie. Kyrie's not a certainty, but Kyrie's the reason Kevin Durant tried to weather this storm. So let me know what you guys think. If Kyrie is going to leave, if you think he's going to leave, where is he going to go? If you think this is just noise, he's staying in Brooklyn. And if you think Kyrie is gone, does Kevin Durant stay or does Kevin Durant go? And if Kevin Durant goes, where does he go? Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be at you with more content a little later. Talk to you then.